All right, so you made it. You made it to the pre-training of the Unshakable Faith Roadmap. Okay. Now, many people in life, they have an issue with self-confidence, issue with their faith, faith within themselves, and how do they get to that next level, whether it be personally or professionally. Some people struggle in their marriage and faith. Some people struggle individually with faith alone. Some people struggle with the fact that, hey, I want to write this book, but I'm not sure if somebody actually is going to read it, or I'm not sure if I should start this business because I'm not sure if people are actually going to buy my product and what it is that I want to achieve and how I want to contribute to society. Well, listen, this is the training for you. If you're struggling in your marriage, if you're struggling in your faith, if you're struggling in your own self-confidence, wherever it is that you're struggling at in your life, whatever area it is, in terms of self-confidence, this is the pre-training for you. And if you stick around to the end, I'll make sure I have a special offer for you so that you can continue elevating and taking your personal development to another level. So without further ado, here we go. All right. So when we talk about faith, okay, what is faith? Right? What is the first thing that you hear when you hear the word faith? Okay. Faith within yourself starts with what? Hearing. Okay. We got to be able to listen. And as you guys can see, this man right here to in the picture is Mr. Damon John. He is the shark of all sharks. You may have seen him on Shark Tank. You may have seen him. He was the owner and CEO of FUBU, a very very popular clothing line in the late 90s, going into the 2000s. And when I first seen Damon John, and we had a conversation, he said, Kenny, the one thing that you always have to do, being though that you have such a large audience, is make sure that you hear what they're saying. Make sure that you listen to what they're saying, right? Because they're going to tell you exactly what they want. Okay. And I've also learned that from another man by the name of John Maxwell. He says, seek to understand before seeking to be understood. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm actually going to put that in the notes on the side here. Seek to understand before seeking to be understood. Got a little typo here, right? That was by John Maxwell. And as I learned to do that over the course of my life, it's helped me in so many different ways. And for example, with my son Christian, who was battling leukemia, for my son Christian, who also has Down syndrome, I had to understand, I had to hear first. I had to develop the self confidence within myself that I was going to be able to be a parent that was going to take care of a son who was battling leukemia. I was going to be able to be a father to a son who has special needs. And that's one of the scariest things as well. Many people may not talk about that, but it's a scary sight to be able to parent a child who has some form of a special need. And many people on here may have some sort of correlation with that, but the fact is that it's a scary thing. So where do you gain the confidence? Where do you gain the faith to actually move forward and do this thing, right? And achieve this goal, and it's achieve the goal of, hey, you know what? I can be a great father. I can be a great mother to my child who has special needs. I can be a great mother to my child, can be a great father to my child who has maybe battling cancer, battling whatever it is that they're facing. I can be. Okay. And the first thing that we have to do is that we have to hear first. We have to seek to understand first. I had to understand exactly what my son was going through. I had to understand what trisomy 21 was. I had to understand what Down syndrome is exactly. And when I started to understand that, I started to gain a little bit more faith in my ability to attack that particular situation. Now, you may be facing some form of a situation right now where you're saying to yourself, okay, how do I write this book? Okay. Well, how do we know people actually want to hear the book? Have you talked to anybody? Have you told people about your story? Have you talked to anyone about what it is that you have been through in life? I believe that every person has at least one book in them. Okay. You got at least one book in you because everybody has a story to tell, and it is for somebody, whether it be for 1,000 people, whether it be for 1,000,000 people. Somebody has a story to tell so that someone can grab from that and use in their life. Remember this: the gift that you have is not for you. Okay. The gift that you have was given to you so that you can give it to someone else. I'm gonna say it again. Listen, the gift that you have is not for you, but the gift that you have was given to you so that you could give to someone else. But how do we do that? We've got to listen first. Okay. We got to listen first. Now, what happens normally? Okay. Why are we not listening first? Right. The reason why we're not listening first, because oftentimes people lack confidence in themselves based on the false truths that others are projecting on them. Now, here's another awesome quote that I want to give you guys, and it's by a guy named Michael Pitts. And he said this, right? He says that lyrics affect the mind, wisdom affects the will, and the melody affects the emotions. He said, show me what a person is listening to, and I'll show you their lifestyle. Now, this is some powerful stuff, y'all. This some powerful stuff right here, right? This some powerful stuff. Show me what a person is listening to, and I'll show you their lifestyle. So my question to you is, who you've been listening to? Maybe the reason why you have a lack of faith, a lack of self-confidence within yourself and your own ability is because you've been listening to other people. So let me ask you another question. Who are you? Not who you think you are, not what someone says you are, not what other people think you are. Who are you? When you look in the mirror, who are you? Right? So oftentimes we lack confidence, and the confidence is coming from an unqualified outside source. And if it's coming from an outside source, that's someone's perception of you and what they think you are, but not who you really are. See, what we have to understand is that when we look in the mirror every single day, that's the truth. The person that we're looking at is not going to lie. That person in the mirror is not going to lie because that person knows the truth. The problem is that when we leave that mirror, we take on all these other beliefs on what other people say. And that's how the anxiety kicks in. That's how the depression kicks in. That's how all these different things kind of filter into our mind, right? And we take on these things and we say, wow, I do have a lack of confidence, when in reality, you really don't. It's because you're taking on what other people say and what other people's views of you. Okay. Now imagine this. If I had a lack of confidence in myself and my ability, then maybe my son Christian may not be here right now. Maybe my son Christian may have a different outcome. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Just a few years ago when my son was battling leukemia, there was a doctor, and the doctor had came in, did his rounds, and we were in the hospital. And there was a Broviac in my son's chest that he lived with. And if you guys can take a look at the video, and here's the size of my finger that was in his chest. It was a needle going in his chest. They call it a Broviac. So if you're any nurses or anyone in the medical field, you understand what I'm talking about. And that Broviac has two tubes hanging out, and it's one to pump the chemo through, one to draw the blood from. Okay. Now there's going to be significant in this short story right here. So at the time, this is the fourth round. My son is facing leukemia. We're in chemotherapy treatments and things of that nature. And I asked the doc, say, hey doc, listen, can you check and see if my son has pneumonia? I just want to cancel it out to make sure. Why? Because he has this crazy cough. It was not a normal cough. It was something that sounded like a bear was on top of my son. That's how heavy the cough was. And he was only 14 months old at the time. So imagine being in my position and worrying about my son, and we're fighting this deadly disease, and then the doctor turns around and says, no, I'm not going to check him for leukemia for pneumonia because he doesn't have the symptoms. And I said, doc, listen, I don't know if you heard me correctly, but please double check just to make sure, because last year he had pneumonia and it was undetectable. The doctor says, no, he doesn't have pneumonia. I'm not going to give him an x-ray. Now we're looking for just some form of peace of mind just to cancel it out. It could be anything. And the doctor denied us 3 times. So at that point in time, I had faith in myself. I had self-confidence in my ability that I was going to make my point and get my point across. The doctor leaves the room. My wife is totally upset. Now, for any husbands that are probably watching this right now, you can't make the wife upset. You got to do your job and make sure you do it well, right? So I go out of the room and I see this doctor by himself. And I walk up to him, man, and man, I said, excuse me, doc, you're not the one that has to be here 24/7. You're not the one that has to be here with his other 3 children sleeping on the air mattress at the grandmother's house the entire summer. You get to go home to your nice house. You get to drive home in your fancy car. I don't. I don't get to drive home at all. I had to shut my business down. Now, for you, this may be nothing, but for me, this is everything. My wife is down there right now, and she just wants some peace of mind. We want peace of mind. Be in my position right now. Your son is fighting for his life. I just want to cancel it out. That's all. I want to check that box because what if? What if you're wrong? I get it. This is your expertise. But what if you're wrong on this situation? And he said, you know what? You're right. I'll go ahead and grant you the x-ray. Now, they didn't find pneumonia in my son. But remember in the beginning of the story where I told you guys about the needle that was in my son's chest, it started to come out. And when it started to come out, it could have got infected. My son had to start to develop a keloid around it. Now, had I not had the confidence and the faith within myself and my ability to get my point across to make sure, then we could be having a totally different conversation. But number one, I heard. I heard correctly. I heard exactly what my son was going through. I heard a cough, and that cough was just something that I don't think is normal. And when you know something in your gut is not normal, you got to make sure that you take care of it right away, right? So again, faith comes by what? Hearing. Okay, so we got to listen first. All right. Next thing, as we move forward, faith starts with your environment. Faith starts with your environment. Who are the people that are surrounding you, right? Who are the people that are surrounding you? Okay. Listen, check it out. It's hard to have self-confidence when you're with drowsy people. Okay. It's hard to have self-confidence when you have drowsy people. Okay. And if you stick around people who are drowsy, lousy, and lazy, you'll end up like them more times than not. So we've got to understand, our surroundings is very, very, very important. Who are the people that you're surrounding yourself with, and who have been the people that you've been surrounding yourself with over the last few years, the last few months? And then look at yourself and view yourself like, am I in the position that I want to be in? Do I want to be like this person? You guys know how the old saying goes, you show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And for me, I had to dismiss myself from some people in my life. I had to dismiss myself from people. Why? Because guess what? It wasn't benefiting my future. I had to get myself around other people that are where I want to go. I had to be around those individuals. I had to learn different habits. I had to learn different traits. And to learn different skills and different things so that I can make sure that I get to another level in my life. Why? Because at the end of the day, I got a purpose. And that purpose is dealing with people and make sure those people are winning at the end of the day, especially my family. And I can't do that if I'm hanging around the wrong people that are lousy, drowsy, and lazy. There's no way that that's going to happen. All right. So make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right individuals. Your atmosphere is so, so, so important. Those who don't surround themselves in the right atmosphere make can basically set yourself up for a recipe for disaster, and that's not what you want. Okay, so I want you guys to start changing some things and reevaluating your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. All right, next thing, here we go. We're almost finished, guys. So listen, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance from what we don't see. Listen, this is very, very important. Check it out, because what we don't see is more important than what we do see. I'm going to say that again. What we don't see is more important than what we do see. Just going back to the story with my son, I knew that there was something going on. I just couldn't see it, but I knew that there was something going on, right? And that was more important than what I do see on the outside. On the outside, everything looks great. But on the inside, there was something that was wrong, something happening on the inside that I needed to address. Now, whether that be in your business, whether that be in your marriage, whether that be within your children, there has to be something that's going on that's causing a lack of confidence and self-confidence within yourself. And sometimes it's what you don't see. And that thing that you don't see is way more important than what you do see. You see it all the time. So many people out in the world can look great, look like they're in shape, look like, on the outside they look amazing, but on the inside they're dying. And the fact is that they don't have the confidence within themselves to press forward and move forward to the next level. So my encouragement to you is seek on the on the inside, right? So you can flourish on the outside. I'm gonna say that again. Listen, seek on the inside so that you can flourish on the outside. All right. Now, with that being said, guys, okay, we've got to make sure that we are getting acclimated so that we can elevate to another level. Your self-confidence is so important because the people that you're called to lead are going to be looking at you. And if you don't have the confidence in yourself, then why would anyone else have confidence in you as well too? You could be missing blessings just because you don't have the confidence in yourself to start. Woo woo! Just because you don't have the confidence to start. To start. So this is where we have to take real introspect on ourselves and who we are. Okay. When we do that, when we take inventory on ourselves and we see the areas of life where we have to improve, that in turn then turns out to be something of greatness that's going to manifest into something that's going to be great for someone else down the line. Maybe your grandchildren, maybe your children's children. You never know. Okay. This small thing of faith, this small thing of confidence within yourself to spark, to change things in your life, whether it be personally or professionally, can do wonders if you allow it to, and if you really dig deep on how to actually elevate your self-confidence to another level. Okay. With that being said, guys, check this out. Here we go. All right. Got a little quiz for y'all, a little quiz for y'all, but not really a little quiz, a little questionnaire. Okay. I want you guys to grade yourself. Okay. Grade your self-confidence in your faith level. Okay. The first question is going to be is how would you rank yourself? How would you rank your faith, actually, your faith, your self confidence, okay, today on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being amazing and 1 being I have zero confidence in myself. Zero confidence in myself. Go ahead and write it down right now. I'll pause the video and come back in a second. Here we go. Okay, so we're back. All right. So I hope you guys got that down. All right. So what the next question would be, what would increasing your self-confidence and faith do for you in your life in the next 6 months, and why? I want to give you guys some time to go ahead and write that down. We'll go ahead and pause again and we'll come back. So go ahead and take your time, or you could either pause this video wherever you're at and then come back, and then we'll move forward. Ready? Here we go. Once again, what would increasing your self-confidence and faith do for you in your life in the next 6 months, and why? Okay, so all right. I hope you guys are having fun right now. You're starting to see some things about yourself in areas of your life. Okay. So the next question would be, write down 3 of your biggest inspirations and why. 3 of your biggest inspirations. It could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing, whatever that is. Write it down and why. Here we go. Okay, so now that you've written down your 3 biggest inspirations, I want you to really take a look at those people or those things or places or whatever the case may be, and see the confidence that those individuals had within themselves. Why did they inspire you? Right? They were some of your biggest inspirations because there was a confidence that was built inside them that spewed onto you. Right. So I want you to really like take a good look at that. For me, one of my biggest inspirations is, Pastor Edgar Alvarez, just the confidence that he has whenever he gives a word. Another guy is Inky Johnson. Another guy is Ed Milet, John Maxwell, my mother, my father. There are just so many different people that I see that elude an enormous amount of confidence within themselves and faith within themselves that I have taken and adopted into my own life, because that's how I would like to be. That's where I want to go when it comes to my own self-confidence and my faith. Okay. So this next one here is, if you don't take the steps to building more confidence in your dreams and your goals, what would happen to the ones you care for? Think very seriously about this question. What would happen to the people that you care for if you don't get this done? Here we go. Awesome, guys. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I hope you guys go ahead and share your answers with me via email or in our private community, which I'll tell you guys about in just a second. Okay. We're almost finished here. So, how far are you willing to go in order to build an unshakable legacy in your life, and why? Okay. How far are you willing to go to have unshakable faith, unshakable wealth, unshakable health, right? Unshakable growth, right? You're building this legacy. How far are you willing to go to make sure that this thing happens generation after generation for you and your family? All right, ready? Go ahead. And here we go. Awesome. See, for me, guys, like it's all about being unshakable. I've been through so many different trials and tribulations that I make sure every single day that I live a life, being unshakable. And when trials and tribulations do come my way, I understand that I have the tools and things that I need to adapt and move to the next level. All right. So listen, we have come to the conclusion of the Unshakable Roadmap, the pre-training. Now, the reason why it's a pre-training is because there's actually a full training on this. Yes, there's actually a full training on this entire, faith journey, so that you guys can get to the next level in your goals, in your career, in your dreams, in your visions, the things that you want to achieve and go to the next level in your life. And me personally, guys, this is the one thing that when we talk about if I talk about myself, if people ask me anything and they say one word to describe you, it's being unshakable, if I'm being honest. I've been through, so many different trials and tribulations in my life where it's made me, know that nothing that comes up my way is going to be detriment to my life at the end of the day. Why? Because I have that type of unshakable faith that we can get through and overcome anything. Okay. Now, what I want to offer you guys is, an opportunity to be a part of our community, an opportunity to be a part of the Unshakable community. Because not only is this particular program fit for you, but it's also fit for you to teach it to someone else and show and exemplify to other people throughout the world, whether that be inside your community, inside your home, inside your business, wherever it is. We've got to exemplify the Unshakable Faith format to people, because guess what? In this day and age, there's a lot of people lacking faith, and there's a lot of people that's lacking self-confidence. So I want to be able to give you something. I want to be able to offer you guys something that's going to help you and take you to another level, right? Take your personal development to another level. Why? Because it's needed in this world. So here it is, guys. I want to offer you guys something amazing to be a part of the Unshakable community. Okay. If you guys go ahead and take a look right here, we have the Unshakable Elite, we have the Unshakable Silver, and we have the Unshakable Monthly. To get this full training, this full course, listen, this course is really worth $4,997. Okay. But we trickled it down and we've basically been able to compact this and make you guys an unforgettable offer, right? Of only $649, $449 for the silver, and $93 monthly. Okay. Now with the Unshakable Elite, obviously you get the 12 months of access to this course and this roadmap. You get 2 private coaching sessions with me. You get the monthly mindset with some of the top coaches and best people that I know. That means you get to glean off of the best minds that I have been able to interact with and build solid relationships with, that are going to come and teach you as well too. You get into our private community, and you also get the weekly group coaching and Q&A. Well, every week we'll be jumping on a call and I'll be dropping bombs and dropping some good knowledge and gems for you guys and answering your questions as far as how to build your self-confidence and take it to another level. And then you also have some bonus. We have the Shift to Success training course, which is an amazing course that'll help you guys throughout in building yourself to another level. If you want to build a business, if you want to be able to build a team, this is the way to do it. Me being a choreographer for over 20 years, I've taken the steps of directing and leading individuals and putting them into a right place, right perspective, so that things can move simultaneously at the same time. Okay. You also get the VIP to my next live event and first access to the Unshakable Self-Care Formula, which is also coming out this year. You'll have access to that as well too. Okay. So listen, guys, how do we get in? How do we make this happen? Listen, click the link below and sign up. If you enjoyed this training, if you enjoyed this so far, listen, come on in. If you made it through this far, come on in and get down, and let's grow together. Let's build this community. Let's change the mind so that we can change the game and go to another level in our life. Listen, if you are ready to become unshakable, okay, if you got any questions and anything that I may have missed for you, please feel free to reach out and I will answer your questions. Email me, okay? Email me. I'll put my email right here in the notes, Kenny at KennethAllenThomas.com. Somebody from my team will get back to you immediately to make sure that we answer any questions that you may have. But take advantage of this right now. If you know that your self-confidence is lacking, if you know you need a boost, if you know you need a shift in your life, take advantage right now and do it right now. Because guess what? What happens if you don't? What happens if you don't invest into yourself? What happens if you don't invest into your own well-being? Then guess what? The reality is you'll be like the other 70 to 80% of people who go ahead and make sure that they serve everybody else 10 hours a day before they even serve themselves, and eventually hit that burnout stage, and you're not even like 3/4 into the year or a quarter into the year and you're already burned out. You don't want that for your life. If you want to make a change in your life, you make it right now and become unshakable with us. And for that, I thank you guys for making sure that you sticked around and stayed. I hope to see you on the inside. All right. Like I said, when we change the mind, We change the game. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow worry about itself. Today is all you got. And if today is all you got, you make sure you impact today the best way you know how. I love you guys. I see you guys in the group. Talk soon. Peace.